Hey, how's it going? It's Sam Frost here, back with some more digital marketing advice. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about an issue I've seen crop up. Basically, based on a few projects I've worked on recently where new clients have come along, they've wanted help with things like Google Ads, Google Analytics, digital strategy, whatever the case may be. And the issue that keeps cropping up, what I want to talk about is the problem of access and kind of how access is structured and managed and the extent to which your business is actually aware of this. So I've had an issue, for example, where a client's come along and they want to do some testing of Google Ads. And they wanted to do shopping ads as well. So they've got Google Merchant Center account, they've got a Google Ads account, they've got their Shopify store, Google Analytics as well. And in the past, all of these kind of platforms have variously been managed by different people within the business, some of whom are still there, some of whom have left, they've gone on to other jobs, started their own businesses, whatever. And then also there have been various agencies and freelancers and contractors in the past. And all of the kind of management and access of things is really convoluted and not very well understood. So, the old agency over here, they've got admin access to one Google Merchant Center account, but someone else had set up another one that's actually linked to the website, to the Shopify store that nobody seemed to know who had the admin for or who controlled the login. The Google Ads account, once again, it was sort of the ownership of it. I was actually resting with an agency that didn't seem to be trading anymore, so no one could actually get hold of them. And all of this stuff took a while to unpack and sort, and it kind of slowed the process down. I've seen the same thing happen time and time again, not just recently, but just seems to be a real trend recently in the projects I'm working on, where, this progress or the rate of progress is really slowed down by having to sort some of these legacy access and control issues. Same with things like Google Ads, for example, where, the agency that a business is working with at the moment, they pay the Google Ads bill via their own sort of agency line of credit, and then they submit that cost on an invoice once a month. Then the client wants to leave and bring the billing in-house, and it's made more complicated than it needs to be, and probably they would have just been better off paying Google directly the whole time. That's just one piece of advice as an aside, is generally it's always easier to be paying Google or Meta or LinkedIn with your own payment details, even if it's a bit more management from an accounting perspective, dealing with things like multiple credit card charges in a month rather than one invoice that goes to an agency. Because then if you do change agency or you bring management in-house or whatever the case may be, that whole process is going to be easier because the billing admin side is often more complex than the sort of implementation side of things. So long story short, the sort of moral of the story of this video is be aware of how things are managed and sort of how the access is structured and controlled. And if you do have, various agencies, contractors, employees you've worked with in the past, continue to work with, have you got everything structured so that you as the business owner or sort of business management ultimately control how management is configured? Have you got the ability to add or remove users from a Google Ads account? Or, for example, have you got some relatively unpleasant scenario where your Google Ads account is effectively the property of an agency and you might have a falling out with them? And I've seen this happen before where the client has said, hey, we don't want to work with this agency anymore, and the agency has just said, oh, well, we're not going to help you even move payment method over, or we're not going to help you add new users to the account, we just want to wash our hands with you because the relationship is soured, and you've got to go start a new Google Ads account, for example, or try and work with Google to recover the access to that account. So think about all the different accounts you've got: Google Ads, Meta Business Manager, LinkedIn Ads, Google Analytics, all these different things, Merchant Center. How is all of the access managed and structured? Do you have the ultimate kind of level of control or authority over it? If you don't, why not? And what do you need to do to actually get into that position? Because sorting this stuff out can be a real pain. It's often way more complicated than I feel like it ever would need to be. An example being Google Ads sort of user side versus the payment and billing side is just way too complex in my view, but I don't think that will ever change or be fixed. But as long as you've got the main admin, particularly if you own the business or you're the manager of the business, then as you might change agencies or freelancers or contractors or employees over time, at least you're not going to be losing out on anything. Because, I've seen some really extreme examples where, access to accounts is lost because somebody moves overseas and becomes uncontactable, for example, and then there's no way to get the login details back. So just be aware of these kind of things. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. Leave a comment below. You can email me on info@samfrost.co.nz. Thanks for watching. See you next time.